Hey guys, welcome back to another Bartoli Consulting Group SEO point of view. Today, we're talking about my top 4 ways to know if your business site is actually mobile SEO friendly. No need to bring in your developer. So now, if you haven't read the latest article on this, head over to bartoliconsulting.com/blog and check out my latest mobile friendly SEO and what you need to know. I'll link it up in the notes below. All right, now let's get on with it, and I hope you find this really helpful. So, let's jump in. 40% of consumers prefer to use their mobile device to complete the whole shopping process. I'm sure that you do the same. This is something that you really need to take into consideration. If you're a business owner and you need to know how and why your customers are actually looking for you, they're using their mobile phone or they prefer to use their mobile phone. Now, voice search, it is a thing. I know some years ago it was sort of like how or what do we think about, but using mobile SEO to optimize for voice search now can provide a competitive advantage because 62% of businesses, as you can see in this chart, the study from Bright Edge, they're not likely to have any plans for voice search whatsoever. So really you need to start considering voice search as part of your overall SEO strategy. Now, number 1, check your Google Analytics for your mobile traffic. And I'll show you exactly where to do that. If you go to Google Analytics, head over to Audience and Mobile, and I'll show you exactly where that is so you know where to go. You're in Analytics here. You go over to Mobile, down on the left side. You click that, and then you'll see sort of like Overview, Devices. There, that'll give you a sense in terms of what you should be looking at. You can actually see the types of devices, Apple iPhone, Samsung, whatever. Okay, there's also a new thing. It's in beta format, but it's called cross device, and it really kind of shows you the device overlap. I don't have any data in here right now because it is still in beta, but it should be, if you do have a lot of mobile traffic, it could be a very interesting way to kind of understand, learn a little bit more about your audience. All right, that's awesome. So that's number 1. Now let's get on to it and figure out what the next one is going to be. Number 2, check for mobile friendly. If you haven't figured out what this is yet, I'm going to show you right now. This is Google's way of showing, it's basically helping you to understand what mobile friendly is and whether your site is actually mobile friendly. So what we'll do is we'll type in a well-known site here and we'll just run a test. And it takes a few minutes or so, but it really gives you a really good sense in terms of what your site looks like from an SEO perspective. You want to understand how Google in particular, it really can access your site from its mobile spider, mobile bot. And so what it does is it's looking at all the different resources that could be in its way to download and process that page. There's a time to first byte. I won't go into the technical details because if you are a business owner, it really doesn't matter to you. What matters is your site fast and what is it mobile friendly? And so right now we're looking at the mobile friendly test. So it's taking a while, quite some time for this test, but as you can see, once it all gets processed up, it's going to really show you how it really kind of thinks about everything. Well, here's the results. Page is SEO friendly. Now, what you can see is it will have some details because there's some loading issues. And basically, what you can do is, and this is something you should be working with your SEO team or your developer team, they should really understand there's some double click. So this is Verizon. So they've got some ads that are running, and they've got double click, which is Google Ads. They've got some images and things in there that are blocked by robots, which is totally fine. So these things are slowing up its ability to really kind of view the mobile source and the frames. But you can kind of see just JavaScript console messages. JavaScript will also tend to kind of give it a little bit of a hiccup. But overall, this is what you really want to see, that your site is mobile friendly. It also gives you a cool little glimpse in terms of what the screenshot looks like as well. So that's the Google mobile friendly test. This is, again, to really define whether it's mobile friendly or not. Now let's get into number 3. Now, what's the usability like? Now, I've got this really cool example. And so if, one of the things you should always do, of course, is just open up your phone and go to your website. But don't just go to the home page. Go to every single page in your site because it matters. You're assuming your visitors are just going to your home page and that's it, but they're actually going to all the other pages in your site. So you want to make sure that you're pulling up all your services pages, all your product pages, and maybe even simulate an experience that your visitor would have. If you're an e-commerce site, why don't you just buy something from your site? Nothing like your own user experience. If you see something that's broken, if the cart is just completely jammed up and not working right, you're going to experience all that. And I would really recommend doing that from time to time. I don't think enough people really test it out for themselves. And I've seen a lot of just basic stupid stuff that happens because the owners don't themselves go through and just, as a user would, just kind of go through the same thing. So let me show you what I'm looking at right now. Give me 1 second. Let me just pull it. So here's what I'm talking about. Now, how do I know this is an awful experience? This is the actual site, okay? Now, I have no idea who these people are. They're somewhere, I think, located in Texas. But is this user-friendly? Seriously. So take a look at it. I mean, if you got a site like this, number one, they're not secure. So I would definitely make sure that there was an SSL certificate there. But as you're looking through here, you're seeing all of this distracting stuff going on here. And then I'm going to just kind of, just as I would if it was a mobile device, kind of simulate the experience this way. So now I've got to thumb through all of this stuff here. So this is just, again, poor user experience, not really helpful. Now I got to get through all of this. Okay, this may be important, but this text is really difficult to read. So you might want to shorten that up a little bit or have a link to an interior page that maybe goes into depth and detail on the disinfecting services that they offer. This is just really an eyesore. So this is one huge image that looks like it's massively blown up. But again, if I'm looking on my phone, this is doing nothing for me. There's no call to action, and it really serves no purpose. And again, we're getting down to things, as you can see here, if I'm on my mobile phone, I'm scrolling down. This is for a data center, okay? They offer data center services. So what the hell would I even, I mean, this is the homepage too. So again, I'm not getting anywhere, and I'm not seeing anything that's really beneficial or helpful. And if I want to reach out to somebody and ask some questions, I don't even know where to go with that. So it gets all the way down here and there's a phone number. That's it. So I'm on my mobile phone. There's not even the ability, maybe here I could click to call. So that might be useful. But again, this is not a really good user experience. They do have the hamburger menu, so it's considered responsive because I was able to shrink up the page this way. But this is so again, that should have opened up to a product page. So this is the kind of thing that you should do with your site. See what I'm talking about? Bad user experience. Okay, now let's get back into this. Number 4, your bounce rate will help increase your dwell time. So if you reduce your bounce, and I should rephrase that, reducing your bounce rate will increase your dwell time. The dwell time, another way to phrase it, is the time that somebody is hanging out on your site, going from a services page to a product page to another page to yet another page, staying in your site because the information you have is really useful and helpful. Now, here's a study from DoubleClick where they have 53% of visitors are abandoned if a mobile site takes longer than 3 seconds to load. So this is sort of like, what do I need to do in terms of loading and making sure that my page speed is optimal? I want to increase the time that they're sitting there and looking at my site and getting some really helpful and valuable information. So what I want to do is make sure that they're there in less than 2 seconds. 1 out of 2 people expect a page to load in less than 2 seconds. So make sure it loads in less than 2 seconds. Now, there's a way to check that out, and I'll show you right here. Here is a test my site. So this is kind of pretty cool here. So what you do is, again, you just kind of pop in your website, and this is a little bit faster than the other one. What Google does is it's actually, you can get it at thinkwithgoogle.com/feature test my site. And it'll test any site you throw up there. If by chance you are an SEO and you do consulting or you work in an agency, this is also a pretty cool thing. If you're doing some analysis for a client, you can just run this, put it in a slide, and then just share that with your clients. So mobile speed is 2 seconds in the United States on a 4G network. So it does a really good job of giving you, now, this is one source of information, a pretty good source. It is Google, but it is a source, and it just shows you the average rating. And so I can benchmark it. I can put in some other competitor sites, which is also pretty cool. You can also, again, if you're an SEO and you're trying to help understand, what the annual revenue, potential increase in annual revenue is if I improve the page speed. This is great to make a business case for, a justification of getting the development team on your side to improve the page speed. So, and it'll also give you other things, some custom fixes on how to really improve the site experience. And you can also actually get the report actually emailed to you if you wanted to. So that's just another really cool thing that you can kind of do. So that's the bonus, was the test your site. Now, if you haven't already, head over to bartoliconsulting.com/blog. I've got a bunch of other things there. This is one of the latest posts that I wrote where it is mobile-friendly SEO and the specific things that you absolutely need to know. So go there, check it out. If you like this video, hit the like button, and I will see you soon.